Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a timely tarot oracle reading about random shift. If you resonate with the title and the thumbnail, this is the perfect reading for you, delivered at the perfect time in timely fashion, courtesy of the universe through the language of synchronicity. This is a collective or general reading, so just be aware parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you, leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, meaning if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. And I've got my little co-pilot here. If it's been a while since I posted this, then take a look at what was going on back then in your life, and it may give you further clarity. My cat just loves, little Stella here, she just loves the readings. She wants to be here. She's already got happy feet. She's got a purr going on. You may not be able to hear her because I'm wearing a noise canceling mic, but a cat's purr raises the vibration to a healing energy. It can actually lower blood pressure. I figured with the news these days, we could all use that energy. All right, we're going to start with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. We have the Knight of Swords coming in. And the knights in the tarot represent information, communication coming in. There's 4 knights in the deck, and each of them has their element. This is the element of air, represented by swords. So the swords are talking about your mental intelligence, your ability to control your mind, discipline it, and your thoughts, basically. Your thoughts are expressed through words and through the written word or verbalized words. And so this Knight of Swords is coming in with some information. In the old days, that's the only form of long-distance communication there was. But these days, we have access to, emails. The message could be coming in by post. It could also be a phone call, a text message. You might be online and get a message on social media, or you see an event, so you decide, I'm going to attend that event, and you attend, and the perfect information you needed is coming in. And also, always kind of take at least 5 minutes a day just to find out what's going on at the top of the pyramid. Definitely whatever's going on at the top is going to affect everybody underneath on some level. You have to really look at the information. There's a lot of AI out there. There's a lot of false information. So you have to check all sources of information. I tend to use my favorite podcasters, and I listen to the mainstream news as well, and I compare the two, and then I come to my conclusions. All right. Be careful out there because there's a lot of AI and it's getting a little bit harder to discern. But I'm starting to be able to really pick out the AI energy a lot easier because it has no soul. Okay, so we have, oh my goodness, we have the 10 of Swords. So the 10 of Swords is representing having some backstabbing energy. This person has been left for unalive. This is not like an accidental, someone said something and hurt your feelings. This is a premeditated, calculated takedown. And so the 10 Swords can represent the thoughts of others and their actions to put you in this position. This can represent a decade or more of this energy. It can also represent one person 10 times, or it could represent 10 people or 10 groups of people, depending on how much money you have. Bottom line, you would wonder, why would someone want to do this to another human being? You just why? And follow the money. There's some people out there that will do anything for money, and I do mean anything. So this is, this person though is laying on the ground, and they are in in this, looking into the horizon, and there is some light there. So this is the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes this can represent eclipse energy, or it can represent, equinoxes and solstice type energy around that time. This is, this person has their right hand is in the form of a blessing. So this card is saying this cycle is coming to an end. This is done energy. This sometimes can represent the slow dagger, which is something that some secret societies out there use to bring people down. You can Google it if you want. Maybe I'll post it at some time, but probably not this reading because I'm super busy. But this is talking about how, this is a blessing in disguise, because this cycle is going to come to an end. Justice will prevail. And that might be what this Knight of Swords is coming in through. You can see the Knight of Swords, he only has half the information because he only has half a sword. And you can't see the point, and maybe neither he can either. Also, he's got a red flag coming off the back of his helmet, and his horse is totally stressed out. He's pushing it really hard to run through barren land against the wind. Even the clouds in the sky are jagged. So this is talking about, whatever, he's either running from something or running to something, or both. So he could be running to the people that did this and saying, oh no, there's something happening. The cycle's coming to an end. We're in trouble. They're after me. They know what we've done. Oh no. That's the kind of the energy I'm picking up here. And then we have the Hermit. So if you're in this position, the best thing you can do is isolate yourself. You've probably been isolated if it is the slow dagger. So just, remember, rejection is quite often God's protection. So this is, you may as well, if you're isolated anyway, go up to the top of the mountain. You don't have to actually find a mountain, but isolate yourself. Cut yourself off from everybody that if you have to, everybody. For a time, so that you can confer with God and figure out, okay, what direction do I need to take? The lantern here represents the North Star energy, and when the lantern is full of that light, then you have information. Okay, you notice that his staff is lit up here, and so that's saying, okay, it's time to leave the mountain, come back down, get back out there, and put into action what your conference with God told you to do. And we have this energy of the moon. So a really good time to do this is during the moon, because there's a lot of hidden illusions that come with the moon, and secrets come out. And so this is because it's a highly intuitive time. So if your intuition is saying to you, you need to, use your intuition to come to a creative solution here. Listen to that energy. It's when the full moon and the new moon are out in particular, that's when we tend to be our most intuitive. And these swords are double-edged swords. You have to use your logic and your intuition to get to creative solutions for your issues. So this lobster is coming out of the emotional water here. And has disciplined the mind by going to God and to source energy and asking for assistance. He wants to stay on his path of glory. He knows I'm going to be very vulnerable here. I've got to get past this domestic dog and this wolf, and they're both howling at the moon. All he can do is just, hope and pray that he gets by them without them noticing him. And this is talking about the sun shining light. The sun always shines light, and the sun represents God. Shines light on any situation that's happening during the moon. And we have the full moon and the new moon and the sun represented here, which can also represent eclipses of energy, which generally affect our energy over a period of about 6 months. It's a slow percolating energy, but when you look back, and you look back at when was that, when was the last eclipse and what has happened in my life since then, you might be surprised. If you want to know more about that, you can take a look at my new moon, full moon playlist, and I have the eclipses and the full moon and new moon energy there. I do it by I do a reading for each individual sign in the horoscope. All right, so it might give you some insight as to your situation now. And so this is talking about whatever happened here, the information is coming out. And it looks like this Knight of Swords is like pretty excited about it, or anxious. Excitement and anxiety are very similar emotionally. Judgment is coming out. The trumpet is blowing. This is talking about judgment coming down from the spiritual realm, from the Most High, and it is like going to come down to the physical realm, and everybody is going to feel this this judgment come through. So even the ancestors are climbing out of their boxes. They're thrilled. They're like, woohoo! So this could be leftover energy from before they crossed the veil that wasn't cleaned up, and you got stuck with it. You got stuck with cleaning it up. And but they're waving to the descendants, and the descendants are waving back, and everybody's happy because finally judgment's being called, and we can maybe put this to rest. Our ancestors across the veil, God bless them, rest in peace. All right. We have victory. So the Six of Wands is representing a victory over some sort of situation. There's this is representing a battle, but it also could be representing a competition. It could be like, the wands represent the element of fire and passion. And so if, they can represent action, taking action with passion and really wanting to move forward in your life. And this is talking about when this judgment comes in, the hidden secrets come in, and you get the clarity from the Most High. Then you are in a leadership role, and you step into that role, and because you take ownership of your mind, and you decide, okay, this is what I'm going to do about this situation. And the people in the background here, some of them might be a little bit disgruntled. This could be like an interview for a position at work, for a promotion, and you're the one who gets it. And they might be a little disgruntled, maybe a bit jealous, but they do have to admit that you deserve to win because your performance has been very high lately. And the reason for that is because you've learned to rein in your emotions and discipline your mind to get that freedom to be able to move forward in a strong way. This is then the Knight of Pentacles comes in. So the Knight of Pentacles, you see the energy is very different between these two knights. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the tarot, and it can be really frustrating waiting for information to come in from the Knight of Pentacles because he takes his time. He takes his time because he wants to be sure that the information that he is bringing in is accurate. Like he does his research. And so this, as frustrating as it is, when he does show up, he is offering you a valid piece of information that quite often the pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. And of course, money is a very big part of that world. Having said that, that's why it's the pentacle is represented by the coin. But you could have all the money in the world and still not be living the lifestyle that you want to live. So this is talking about an improvement in your lifestyle, like an overall improvement. And it's also talking probably about a generational wealth, like a legacy that you could pass down to your children and grandchildren. You may have been waiting for this information coming in, or maybe you're not even aware of it. It's something that is, but after you get this information, we have the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is talking about the ultimate fulfillment in a perfectly imperfect world. We're in the 3D, so nothing's ever perfectly perfect, but hey, we'll take this for sure. Ten of Cups is, the cups represent love. Quite often they represent romantic love, but they represent love of your family, love of your, of your children, your pets. It could be loving your neighbors. You love your job. You love the people that you work with. You love the clients. You love the weather. It's that kind of energy. It's a lot of love coming into your life, and a very upgraded, like with this energy coming in, it's also like upgraded energy as far as your position, your lifestyle, everything becoming much better. Way to be. We have Three of Cups here. So this card is about celebration, but it's not my favorite card because these three are toasting, but they're not looking at each other. And that represents that what they're toasting is something that's happened. And I feel like they were toasting this, but they were toasting it a little bit too soon. Somebody was involved in this energy. And so this can, quite often, this represents third-party energy in a relationship. It can represent, gossip, slander, all sorts of energy, behind your back energy. And so especially with this card here, I feel like what this is saying, they celebrated too soon. In many cultures, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye, particularly in Europe, they'll freak out on you because they have a superstition that it causes 7 years bad luck in your love life, like in your romantic life, if you toast someone and you don't look them in the eye. So they'll be like, look me in the eye. And it kind of defeats the purpose, right? So we'll see. So they might actually be, they're celebrating. I'm not saying they're not celebrating, but maybe they're celebrating that they thought they had you here. And now this energy is coming to say, guess what? They're not down. They just got victorious. They got the promotion. They got the, whatever it is. Their business went viral. Like whatever it is. They found the person they love. The person that someone asked them to marry them. It's that kind of information, and then they're like, oh no. Oh no, they're happy? That can't be. It's that kind of energy. This kind of energy. Yes, and this is the High Priestess. So this is saying quite often this energy will come out and about during the moon cycles. And you have to be, you have to discipline your mind. And the best thing you can do is ask for God's help in doing that. This is the High Priestess is very joyful because she sits next to the throne of God. She is sitting in joy to be in that position, and she is highly intuitive. Like she uses her intuition all the time, and the way that she does that, this is about infinite potential. Like to access the infinite potential. A lot of people are concerned about information, and there's some valid reasons for that, but information is actually neutral. Information doesn't really care whether you like it or not. If a scientist does an experiment and then they write a paper on the research and you don't like it, the information doesn't go, oh no, nobody likes this information. It's kind of more like you read it, and then it's what you do with the information that could be good or evil, helpful or not helpful, that kind of energy. So really getting neutral to the information is really important, so that you're not acting out on emotion when the information doesn't care. Information is information. The experiment went this way, and this is the facts, and this is the way it is. So she's sitting in between Jesus and the devil, and so that's the two extremes of all extremes. She has to get very neutral to the information coming in, so that she makes strong choices and leans this way. And so to do that, you need to use your logic and your intuition together, and that's what this is talking about. The Page of Swords. So this is the page. This is really interesting because the Page of Swords. The pages would work for the king and queen when they were very young, like around the age of 7 to 14, even when they were mature enough to be able to do so, and they would come from the families in the surrounding area, or maybe distant cousins of the royalty, whatever. They would be the servants they'd be training to be servants for the royal court. And they would start very young, and they would be given small tasks. And if they were well suited to it, then they would continue on. But their main task would be delivering communication back and forth through within the palace walls. And as they got older, when they were 21, if they were still there and they were accomplished, and they could afford a horse, they might be able to be considered to be, for knighthood. And so this Page of Swords made that a bit, was able to make that jump. So this energy is talking about someone who's very enthusiastic. This is a breath of fresh air. Someone who, is the only page that is not really totally focused on his element. His element is air and about thoughts. And so he knows what the thought is. He knows what the question is. He's already read it. He's been told it. Now he's looking away from it because he wants to think outside the box. He wants to get a creative solution to this problem and bring that in. And so that's why he's very enthusiastic and able to do so. And this is a breath of fresh air. This is someone that, like, this could be an aha moment where all of a sudden you get you have an epiphany. That's what it was. And then with the information coming in, then you're able to really take strong steps forward. This energy here always reminds me of a golfer. And, when you look at this, it looks like he's about to take a swing with the golf club. And golf is a very mental sport. And I feel like, a lot of business people and politicians, they'll go out on the golf course and do business rather than in some stuffy conference room, which makes total sense because it's a way better environment. But it's more than that, because they know if they spend like 18 holes with someone, they're going to get to know that person on a level that you would never be able to in any boardroom. Because if on the first hole they have a real bad time, and then their game just spirals downward and they end up tossing their club and freaking out and losing their temper and all of that. Or they have a bad hole at the first hole, and then the next one they have a hole in one. That shows, okay, this is how this person handles stress. This is how they act when things are going there, when they're a winner. This is how they act when they're a loser. I imagine after 18 holes, you would have a pretty good idea whether you want to hire someone. That's the kind of energy. So golf is a very mental sport. It's not about, you're not in competition with anyone but yourself. Being a better golfer, if you've been on this course before, having a better score than you did the last time you were on this course, or trying to better your best score, that kind of energy. So it's talking about really learning how to discipline your mind and your emotions. Really good energy. So here we have, from the bottom to the top and back down again, we have someone who has been sabotaged. And they thought, like, this energy is talking about this is where you should be. And eventually you get there when the true information comes in. There were people behind this energy were celebrating. They thought, oh, they're down for the count. And then you had an aha moment and you conferred with God and you use your intuition with your logic. Then all of a sudden the wheel starts turning in your favor. And this kind of energy tends to come out at the moon, because that's when they enjoy doing their celebrations. And then this is being a winner. And even anyone involved in this has to agree, okay, this person, how the heck did they do this? Like they're actually looking like, how did they do this? And this is putting you in a leadership role. This is victory. And then because judgment was called. And the information has come in, and maybe some people are pressing the panic button because now whatever they did is exposed. And it's not pretty. Whatever they were doing was not pretty. And so this is going to be public. They're going to be embarrassed publicly for sure, at the very least. And so at the very worst, it could, whatever level that's at. That's their problem. You're going to be on this new victorious journey. And I feel this is all about you. This is it doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. This is how of course there's other people in the external forces, but this is really strong internal forces making a decision. I'm going to get through this, because here it could be very easy to give up. So congratulations, it's really awesome. Here's the cards that want to come out. So we're going to go with this. For those of you that are leaving off here, thank you for your time and energy. Please give it a like and comment. It does help me to build my channel. And for those of you who want further clarification, I'm using my Oracle, Tales from the Vector, and this is something I started back in 2007. I am an artist. I completed 64 paintings. It took me till 2020 because I was very busy. I've put out versions of these cards as I was doing it, and have used them when I used to teach seminars and host seminars. I would have them at my seminars, but it wasn't complete. Now it's complete, and I'm getting ready to put it out there. So this is the energy now. In the description box below, the cards that I'm using have the numbers of the paintings as they are in the gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. I'll put them in the order they show up in this reading, and then you can take a look and see the paintings if you want to get a better idea. They say a picture paints 1,000 words, so if you're looking for clarity, it might empower you a bit. We have the Tower coming out. So the Tower, yes, it's a tower for these. Whenever a Tower comes out, it's uncomfortable for everybody. This is not a comfortable position to be in, but the Tower is a reality check. And so this is you, like when you're down on the ground like this and you're deciding whether you can even get up or not, or whether you want to. That's when you have this clarity, okay, I need to do something about this. And it could be challenging because there's a lot of energy here that wants you to stay down. These people are celebrating too soon because they thought for sure, like they've done this in the past clearly, and it's an organized way of doing things. So they are sure you're down. All their other victims stayed down. So they're celebrating. Woohoo! We got what was theirs. Yay! We're heroes. And then the worst divorce is actually from Source. It could involve a divorce because it could be, it could be a divorce from people in your inner circle for sure. Like this is just that. It's shifty energy, but that's the way life is sometimes. But this allows you now to go on a foolhardy journey. And that means like when it's starting a new cycle. And so at the Fool in the tarot starts out at the 0 point and then starts a brand new cycle after a cycle closes. And so this is talking about you're on a brand new cycle, and you can anticipate this being much better than this last cycle. You're now on, you're going after your heartfelt desires, and you've had this epiphany, okay, if I have to cut people out of my life, I'll cut people out of my life. That's the way it's going to be. And then this is talking about the Aries energy. And Aries is the first horoscope sign in the zodiac. This is representing like a newborn coming in. So this is brand new energy, a lot of new energy coming in. As I'm doing this reading, and this is significant after, like this is April of, it's actually Easter Sunday as I'm doing this reading. And it's like, the resurrection. There's new energy coming in. We had a real wild time here, and it's not quite done yet, but we're 6 or 7 signs eventually move into the sign of Aries. We're talking like Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter. We're talking Venus in charge of love. We're talking the moon even moves into Aries here right away. There's 7 planets, and this is like unheard of. Like it just doesn't happen that often. So like it's something that might happen. It'll never happen in your lifetime again, and probably not in your grandchildren's lifetime, because it's just not, they all moved into one sign for however long. Neptune was in Pisces for 14 years and moved into Aries. Saturn was in Pisces for 2.5 years and moves in. Uranus is moving in, I think that's a 7-year cycle. Like, so they're all converging into this brand new energy. It's a whole new world, basically. And it's causing a lot of temptation. And a lot of the people that were tempted in the past to take a shortcut and bypass the energy, this is new energy coming in, and man, we can see it in the news as I'm reading this. There's just every day there's something else coming out. But what's interesting is a lot of secrets from like way back when, like even like half a century ago, are coming out now. So it is talking about, it took a long time, it's taking a long time for the judgment to come down to earth. But on the spiritual realm, this judgment is coming in. And we're all feeling it. And I feel like this is significant. This energy right now is significant. This is going to last a long time. So while this was happening, we also had 2 eclipses happen, and we had the Chinese New Year moving into the fiery horse energy from the snake energy, and we had also the Mercury in retrograde during that time frame. So the communication was a bit askew. It was very, tempting energy for a lot of people to cut corners, etc. is challenging. And so this energy of the devil is about temptation. And so when the devil energy comes up, I always cover it with the next card. I want to know what is this about? Like, what minion did the devil send in to do his dirty work, and why? And does God just cover it and it doesn't happen? And we have God covering it. So that's it's right on the judgment. This is wild. Judgment, confirming. I said what I said, God said. Judgment is here. If you've been cutting corners, if you've been playing with the devil's energy, judgment is here. It's on the spiritual realm and it's coming to earth. There's no way you're going to get out of it. This is happening. It's just a matter of time, basically. And so falling and failing in love is a matter of I. So this is interesting because this judgment in my oracle, the judgment is the cosmic heart. And it's the same dragon. And this dragon is a pink and green dragon. She's falling upside down in this one, representing your individual heart chakra. And she's right upright in this one, representing God's judgment. When you think about it, God is the only one that really is capable of judging other people. We can judge their actions, but we can't judge them because we don't really know what happened to them to cause them to behave in this way. And so, judgment belongs to God. And so this is talking, though, about having good judgment for yourself and, opening up your heart chakra so that you can let the love in, like all this beautiful energy come in to you. If you have a closed heart, it can't come in. So falling and failing in love is a matter of I. You have to be willing to be vulnerable like this lobster and go after your path of glory so that you can receive all the beautiful gifts from God. And those are true gifts, not manipulation. And it takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of courage to get up from this place. It's really challenging. So congratulations for being able to do this. Like you definitely deserve this reward after what you've been through. This is talking right there. That you really had to summon your courage here and be in your integrity, to be able to stay on the destined path and despite everything that was happening. Because quite often when this energy happens, it's really hard because a lot of times the people that are doing it are people that we really care about, that we have love for. And so, we have to get to a point where we say, well, I have to love myself more than them. And if judgment's being called, I don't if you're going to hang out with people that would do this to you, well, then you're going to get hit with the karma too. So if God's saying, get out of the way, it's time to get out of the way. And so that's the energy. Yeah, get out of the way. Get out of your own way. How about that? All right, so I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. It's full of really good advice. Give it a like and comment if you have, and I will be back with another timely reading about random shift at some time soon. Bye for now. Hey, little kitty, I gotta wake you up. Yeah, how are you having a nice sleep?